let's get started. We'll let people file in because I think the last meeting, we basically did an hour of personal and team updates, and it filled the space so nicely. And I feel like we made a lot of progress in terms of checking the people where they're at, meeting some needs, devising some new partnerships. So let's circle back to that. I invite anyone who's in the room that wants to go first. Tico, you've been talkative as we got started. Would love to hear where you're at, what you're thinking of contributing, and yeah, just how things are going.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of an update from my end, I'm not sure where Samantha is, but when I do get back in touch with her, we'll be working on the piece itself as well as the business portion that John sent out. But from the AR butterfly perspective, the one that I'll be presenting as my piece, I heard from the developer who's really working on that today, and we should have something by next week. We're also joining the SNI hackathon for Green Deeds. Oh, there's Sam. So we'll be doing that this weekend, myself and Brittany. So if any artists or any relatable things come this way, we'll send people from that hackathon here too. And then I will be pitching Green Deeds in a competition in my home state. It's like a pitch competition. I'm a semi-finalist for that. So that should be more details will come in the next few weeks as well.
Love that, dude. So wait, SNI.
Yeah, let me look up their name. Something Nature Initiative. They're out in Europe. There's Sovereign Nature. Sovereign Nature Initiative. They're I guess a small company managed by a nonprofit in Europe called like Earth Labs, or maybe they're out in California. But they're hosting basically this hackathon. Regen Network is part of it too. They have a few people in it, but very kind of similar, not so much NFT focused. The hackathon is like, okay, we have a park in Berlin. How do you kind of do something community based around this park? Really the blockchain behind it is what it doesn't matter. But yeah, so our idea is doing pretty good in that so far, and we'll see how we can kind of make some connections. Let me just see if I can send the link.
That's awesome, Anthony. I think it also really speaks to one of the ancillary benefits of being part of this incubator, which is that we build each other up, we get each other the resources we need, we build these teams, and then there's no limit to what you can do with this art or with these connections. It's why it's an incubator. It's like that model of a hackathon that we're built on, where it's like, it's not just what art gets contributed to this gallery, but also the connections that are forged, the other ancillary opportunities. So yeah, pretty epic. Love to hear it. Thank you so much, Anthony. And yeah, just let me know if there are any questions on your end.
Awesome.
And so yeah, that's a quick hitter, and that's a powerful one, and it just that in itself justifies the meeting. I love this initiative too. I'm checking out the website. So who's next? Sam, you're here. Tico, Melly. Love to hear from anyone.
I can go. So we've been working a lot on our piece. We've been like sketching a lot, and we already decided how we want it to look. Smorgasbord is now working on the 3D modeling, and I can show you some sketches if you allow me to share my screen here. So here we have a bunch of like animals, both from Mexico and Costa Rica, right? These are like just the sketches, right? But so we worked on this, and then we decided we wanted to build. We're gonna work on two different possibilities, and so we have like one totem here that has like a bird and some feathers and an axolotl, and then bees and some other textures, and this is like the basic geometry. for it. And then we have another one that has more like a snake and some bees also, and some like more like the animals. And well, this is very like just like a rough sketch, but we're working on the 3D modeling already. We have some basic models, and now we are working on putting them together into the 3D sculpture. So that's my update.
Wow. I love the axolotl. I don't know how to say it. Axolotl.
Yeah, either way.
That's so cool. So are you thinking of it all being incorporated into one larger piece, or are you going to sell these animal sculptures individually?
No, it's just one piece with all the animals because it's a totem.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. I also see the potential. Maybe we'll see how it plays out, but maybe you could also invite people to own a particular animal in the totem, and then like a bunch of people could own it together. It's just an idea to play with, because just like you can say now, like what we're leading up to in the NFT market is people are going to be able to buy shares of the Mona Lisa or whatever, or a Basquiat or something, and they won't own the whole painting, but they'll own this particular fraction of it, and this idea kind of lends itself to that potential.
Yeah, that's a possibility we can consider for sure.
Yeah, so beautiful, Melly.
Love
cool.
your visuals, Melly.
Thank you.
Where are you based out of?
I'm in Mexico City, and Smokescast is in Costa Rica.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm back in Costa Rica and Dominical today, but gonna go up to San Jose and up to Nicoya Peninsula in the next few weeks. Anyhow, yeah, I'll message you privately. Awesome work for the update. And thanks for letting all these people in too. When you feel ready, just pass the host back, and we'll pass it to whoever wants to go next.
How do I do that?
You click on participants.
You can also grab it back.
RegeNFT, and I think, is there a way for me to reclaim host? I don't know if that's possible.
Usually, if you're on the phone, maybe not. If you're on the desktop, yes. But Melly, yeah, if you click on the participants, you got it?
I got it. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Melly. Thanks, John. So yeah, welcome Samantha, welcome Jules, and welcome Philip. We've had a couple of people, and welcome Aman as well. We've had a couple of people share about where they're at in their process, just sharing creator updates. And whoever wants to go next, the floor is yours. I guess, basically in the order that people have come in. So Mystico, Samantha,
I'll go next.
Helios, whoever wants to go.
I'll go next.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Hello all. Sorry, I have a limited amount of time because I'm out and about taking care of a couple of things. But by tonight, John and Sam, I'll send you the art pieces that I have because they're pretty detailed. So I've been working like crazy these last couple of weeks with working at festivals and commissions and interviews and podcasts and stuff like that that's been taking up a lot of my time. So, and then holding down a day job at the same time. So I'm outside right now, and when I get back home, I'll continue working up, finalizing the second piece, and then I'll send it to both Sam and John via WeTransfer, so you can take a look at it and see what you think. I'm up to your thoughts, of course, and we'll take it from there. Okay. But one piece is about the decarceration, and the other piece is about nature and Pachamama.
You're a legend, Pico. Love to hear it, man. You're a legend. Yeah, it's been so busy. I can tell, man.
You guys are.
And also doing the shipping and stuff, which will, this is just a long-term kind of potential partnership on a few levels. Because this is, again, like I like to emphasize, and it's good to get it on recording. What we're doing right now, this is like the alpha testing of the RegeNFT model, where we have this basically decentralized philanthropy concept, that into the smart contract we have written in this charitable aspect, and cut out the middleman, you know, get the assets to the social good causes and benefit the artists in the same breath. So it's like, this is just the first of I would say several, if not many, RegeNFT galleries that will be launched in the next year or year and a half.
Ah, it sounds great, man. It's really exciting, and I'm grateful to be part of this. And thank you so much for your patience. And yeah, I'll get this out to you tonight. Okay, guys.
Yeah, no rush, man. You know, I think
Yeah, you're doing great work, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you.
one thing to know is really that we have until the 15th of July, you know, and that's when we really want to have all the pieces in and be making sure that we mint them into the best possible NFTs, you know, for the upcoming auction and gallery in late July, which there's some interesting updates. You know, I don't want to say too much, but basically there's a strong possibility that we'll have an in-person gallery, you know, exhibition in the Bay. And we, you know,
That'll be awesome. Yeah,
take that home. Yeah.
I have some new products that I could offer as part of the NFT package as well. So I'll discuss that with you. Okay.
Awesome. The more the merrier. Yeah.
Please, Tico. You know, the idea of unlockables are, you know, we're gonna have our blockchain NFT intellectual property conversation pretty soon, and also our marketing mastermind. But what we're finding is that like the collectors are really loving the unlockable element of these NFTs. So some people are smoking marijuana with their crew as like a Zoom weed sesh, you know. There's multiple things that you can basically pile within your creations, behind the scenes stuff that can potentially increase the bidding price with and touch a new unlockable layer. So we'll get into that later.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I definitely want to get deeper into that conversation because I think that'll just add value to what we're doing as well.
Awesome.
Thank you. See you guys later. I have to log off. Okay?
Go do your thing, Tico. Thanks, man.
Well, have a beautiful day.
Great work. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. Yair, you've been in the room since the beginning. You want to share with where you're at in your process and what's up?
Yeah. You can hear me okay, right?
Sounds good.
Good. Okay. Anyway, for those that hadn't met me before, I'm a composer and sound designer, and I specialize in spatial audio for, among other things, NFTs. So I've kind of been lurking, waiting to see what was going on with the ideas for soundtracks to accompany these NFTs. I've been working a lot in that space already, mostly with the Jerry Garcia Foundation. And yeah, so I'm just kind of waiting to see what music is going to be presented by creators, and if my services as a spatial sound mixer will be required. If no one has any music and wants music, then I'm in a position to step in with compositions that I'd be more than happy to share for approval and consideration. So that's where I am right now. I'm just kind of waiting to be called into duty.
True service, man. That's your studio behind you, yeah?
That's part of it, yeah.
Just part of it, God. Yeah. Are you doing like the 8-fold or what? You know that. Or 4?
I do first, third, and 7th order ambisonics. So that's more than 8 tracks. Definitely.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's 3D surround that we're talking about. Yeah.
Jerome, do you have a link? Do you have a link to your work that I can share in our Discord channel and just basically blast out like, hey, if anybody needs some soundtrack, contact this badass?
Yeah, I can send you such a link. Actually, we're going to be doing an NFT drop soon. I think it's the 12th of July.
Cool.
And I think that would be most appropriate because it's an NFT. It's
Right.
current. It's still, you know, it's work that we just did. And
The only
think
thing
that-
is, I'd like to get you off the sidelines and onto a team. So I don't want to wait until the 12th. I'd love to
Oh,
get
okay.
information to the community to right now, saying, hey, there's a badass sound guy who wants a team or a few teams. So just if you could hook into this chat, whatever, you know, whatever way accentuates your brand, that I can do that blast out and get you
Yeah.
on a team, because you're great. You're a great talent that needs to be hooked in.
I'll just post the link to my website here in the chat right now.
Thank you.
And that's,
Awesome.
yeah, that should be.
And but
That's a
with
good
that
call.
said, there's a few places where I know you can fit in, and also will you know, support your NFT drop on the 12th. It's an amazing chance to see in action, you know, the kind of art and I don't know if you who you're doing it with, if it's with Jerry Garcia Foundation or what, but it's like, you know, also with this charitable aspect, you know, so there's a lot of synchrony.
Yeah.
And yeah, the
Basically,
woman who just entered the chat, I think might be in need of your services, my friend, Claire
Say
Hedin,
that
who will
again?
do the program live with tomorrow.
I didn't.
Sorry,
hear-
the
That's
chimes
about
are coming.
The woman who what?
Oh, who just stepped into the chat. Claire Hedin, the singer and sound healer at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, who's making an NFT piece with Brooke Einbender, the VR AR artist. Sound design might be very appropriate, you know.
Okay.
Immersive sound design might be very appropriate for this kind of piece because it's already got the VR elements, got the music element, and then, you know, to have that immersive experience really would play well together. So that's a potential link up. And what amazing work you're doing, man. Where are you based?
I'm based in New Jersey.
Cool. Which part?
That's always a funny question because there's north and there's central and there's everything except where I actually am. I'm about 15 minutes from Philadelphia in Southwest New Jersey.
Yeah, Southwest Jersey. Yeah, the suburbs of Philly, across the Delaware.
Yeah.
Cool.
Delaware.
Yeah, that's amazing. So nice to hear your voice and hear about your work. We'll check out the website. Everybody, the link to Yair's website is in the chat. And yeah, there's a great potential link up that we'll follow up with this afternoon. Yeah, Claire, you caught what he does, yeah.
I just went to the site, and I'm loving that electric upright bass right there on the homepage. That's so cool. And my God, look at that! It's like Star Trek for sound.
Yep.
That board is incredible. Is it Jair? How do you say your name? Jerome.
Yeah. And that
Yaro.
in the picture on the website, that's actually the Buchla 200E at M's in Stockholm.
Yeah, I'm beyond excited right now. When I'm excited, I actually can't talk because there's too many words and not enough space for them to come out. So I'll get in touch with you through your site or something, unless you want to just put your email in there.
Wow. Well, Claire, you're on the camera, so
I just saw that.
Share your updates. Also, we just to announce it to everyone, we're gonna Claire and I will do a live. We have this new creator series that we launched last week with Brooke Einbender, and we'll do a live on Instagram tomorrow. And if anyone wants to showcase their work and just have a chat about philanthropy, cryptocurrency, you know, and do sort of some cross promotion between the RegeNFT brand and then your Instagram brand, you know, email me at sam@regenft.net, and we're going to do this at least every week, if not more, leading up to the auction. So Claire, floor is yours.
Okay, so just like basically an update on the project.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, I'm focused on two projects with two different teams, and
they're both different. I mean, sorry, they are different. One is a physical book, and it's to do with the cosmology of, there's a model of consciousness I created called dynamic emergence. And it has kind of a lot of technical drawings. And so what this project is doing is working with an illustrator in Sweden, a design layout person in Oman, and we're lucky enough to have John and Gentry on our production team. And we're putting together either a limited edition or a one-off book. I've never printed a book before, so all of a sudden I'm like in the thick of talking language that's new to me. And it's fun, but it's stressy. It's stressful on a limited timeline with the auction and everything coming up. And right now, literally just before I came on, we were looking at fonts. I mean, and there's as many fonts as there are stars in the sky. So, and each of them is kind of has its own character, and so every choice affects every kind of next choice. So the deadline for printing a book is kind of absurd that we've set ourselves, but we're going to do it. Somehow we're going to do it. And in that, there's a lot of learning. And so obviously the next time and the next time that gets easier. But it's such a thrill. It's such a thrill to work with other people who do things that I can't do. So it helps my imagination kind of stretch in new ways. And it's very humbling at the same time. And that whole interdependence, like this is deep ecology at work here, because, you know, we all need each other for the different elements that we understand better than the others. So that's one project. And I guess we've got probably only a few days to decide on the physicality, who we're going to commit to print it, how the hell we're going to pay for it, and stuff like that. And then the other project is just so exciting. It's this is the one Sam mentioned, that I'm working with Brooke Einbender. And she's a very talented physical artist, but she also turns it into VR. And so I have a CD that is in post production, and it's called Singing the World to Peace. And that's simply my voice, me doing sort of my alchemical sound work with voice and shruti and various light percussion. And it's kind of intense. So not surprisingly, because it was actually conceived with Israel, Gaza, and Palestine in mind before I met up with this whole RegeNFT context. So now she's been creating stuff that is totally blowing my mind, because she's got it. Like when you work with someone and you're effectively working blind, like these songs don't even have names. I don't know what their names are yet, but she's come up with graphics and visuals that I feel like deeply moved by, because she's gotten inside it. She's gotten inside my soul and inside the soul of the music. And to be able to just sort of watch someone deliver that and feel like now the piece wouldn't make sense without those visuals. So one of the things we're considering, and we're going to have a meeting with some other musicians that have done NFT art in the past successfully, to find out if it's possible to sell the ownership of the art, which I find is a weird concept anyway, but maintain the rights to exhibit. And I think there's a win-win in that kind of an arrangement. Yeah, I see you, John.
Love your leadership, Claire.
Thank you. Bless you.
Badass.
Thank you so much. I need to hear that sometimes. But yeah, I don't like the idea of some, and this is probably a horrible way to think of it, but of one person being able to hoard a piece of art, because I know how much art gets purchased and then shoved into a warehouse and never seen. And it's like, well, what's the point of that? Art talks, and people are meant to be able to have a conversation with it, to develop our cosmology, you know, and to evolve ourselves as a species. And I don't want that to happen with my art, but I think the art's good enough that someone would want it. So this is where we're kind of playing creatively with the concept of ownership as sponsorship, rather than as hoarding. And if we can exhibit, then really that's only going to increase the NFT value of that piece and then future pieces. So that's my update, unless there's any questions.
Stunning stuff, Claire. And, you know, I love that ownership as sponsorship, because that's also speaks to the philanthropic angle that is foundational to this project. You know, where it's like we're investing in something not just to reap the benefits of having exclusive rights to this piece of art, but also we're investing in social good and transformation.
Yeah, I mean, it
so
just
it's like, you know,
exactly the community. I mean, art should generate community. Purchasing something should support the generation of community, not the separation of elements within a community into little islands. It's just wrong. We're past that. We're way past that. And it doesn't work. We know it doesn't work.
Claire and I had a chat briefly last night about whether ownership is right, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. It's just wicked funny.
I mean, I think ownership in terms of stewardship is one thing. It depends what the object is. If there's an object or a service, you know.
Right.
It makes me think of branding, because I mean, I'm no expert on branding. I think it's interesting though, because for worse or for good, branding is, whether it's a corporation or it's a governmental entity, or it's like the Red Cross, it has different flavors, and done right, it can be quite powerful. So I got some new ideas very recently. So that I don't even have time to pursue, but I get excited just thinking about it. So, and then the music aspect is also very exciting, being able to put it all together.
Awesome, Eckert. Yeah, you're such a super connector, and really grateful for your presence on the chats and just putting pieces together. So yeah, thank you, Claire. Phenomenal work. I can't wait to see what manifests from that, and I love the potential link up with. Let me say your name correctly this time. Yair Rom. Yeah, Yair Rom. So yeah, some folks have been on since the beginning of the call and haven't shared. Anyone who would like to go next?
I'd like to segue. Great to meet you virtually, Claire. You are a powerful woman, as well as you, Jerome. Please correct us if we're getting your name wrong. You know, your work is also amazing. I brought up both of your websites, and I look forward to connecting. I am also an emerging sound alchemist, and one thing that I would like to share, which kind of piggybacks on what I was discussing last week, was that I am partnering with a company, organization called Beats Drop Cancer out of San Francisco, with my company Kind Philanthropy. And we're going to produce, so Beats Drop Cancer, they provide sound healing therapy to folks with cancer and other illnesses. And they, are interested in putting together, community-based, sound healing experiences. And just so happens that I am a part of an emerging community center that will bring, and that's going to be where that's actually emerging in Berkeley, near the Ashby BART station, where it's going to be a hub of the psychedelic community in the Bay Area. And it's going to be the location of our first, public community sound bath. And so anybody who's local to the Bay Area, I would love to, keep you updated about that project. And we will likely hold a sound bath at that Berkeley location sometime in August, I believe, maybe late July, although that's pushing it a little bit. And so that's one thing that I'm really, really excited about. If I can have permission to share a screen, I would love to show the team something else. Well, that I've been updating my logo and website. And so I'm going to share screen really quickly and show you all. This is basically my business card, and this is my new logo. And so for those of you who don't know yet, Kind Philanthropy offers, solutions for social impact, specifically for the emerging cannabis and psychedelic sectors.
So sorry to interrupt you, Sam. Your chat is in the middle of the screen. If you could reduce the chat, the Zoom chat. Oh no, it's not on my screen.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, it's on my screen. Forgive me.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me find it. It's probably
No, it looks perfect.
It was mine. It was my mistake. Forgive me.
Oh, no worries. Okay. I was like, oh, I wonder how I need to do that. Okay, so yeah, so I had kind of a placeholder logo for a while, and I'm really excited about what emerged with this new update. I'm getting Sam's approval. Right on. Yeah, you can kind of see the elements there that are, important to me graphically. And then we'll move over to here. This would be, my business card. So just to give you a little bit of insight about what I'm doing and bringing to the world, going beyond, Kind Philanthropy and what that means, providing various different services, to our community. So I'm a professional notary, financial advisor, and I do nonprofit leadership coaching as well, community development, and actually community building. I was really blessed to be raised in an intentional community, kind of a hippie co-op, if you will, in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And so I have my whole life training in community building. And my background is in the arts and arts nonprofits. And so I have a whole bunch of things to offer, for corporate social responsibility, to impact advisory, to integration of the nonprofit sector in these emerging industries, specifically the cannabis and the psychedelic communities. And so I'm really, really excited to be networking with Anthony, who's on the other side of the United States. I am calling from Oakland, California, and I am very deeply ingrained in the cannabis and psychedelic communities here on the West Coast. And I'm really excited to be networking and learning more about the psychedelic and cannabis communities on the East Coast. And it seems like me and Anthony are really very much in alignment with what he's doing. And so we have been partnered in this project, RegeNFT. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can show you all something that I've been working on recently that is a physical art piece. So I'll bring it out. And so this is something that I've been working on recently, and it's kind of hard to see because it's kind of one of those paintings where you look at it, every time you look at it, you have something new. So this is the San Francisco cityscape, and a record player. If you can see, the city's on fire, but it's also there's also, life coming out of it, flowers. And this whole thing kind of started with this elephant. And then it's just kind of emerged from there. There is kind of an angry, serious, pensive, perhaps kitty. And a mushroom. And then this kind of like space portal with a UFO coming out of it. There's a waterfall here and some bubbles. And so I'm going to be, you know, continuing to work on this. This will probably likely be part of the our NFT creation. I'm going to produce another as well. I have another with a similar background. If you can see, it's kind of just like a psychedelic kind of colorful rainbowy background. And then I took some of the shapes that were already there, and that's how I created, you know, these kind of you know, creatures and different little aspects from, you know, a little bit from my imagination, a little bit from kind of the shapes that were already emerging from the abstract, you know, so kind of, and so this has been really fun, mixed media piece. It just kind of gives you an example of what I'm doing in terms of my visual arts. And yeah, and you know, and also interested in you know, working with musicians and sound healing, because that's another thing that I do out there in the world. So you know, if Claire or the other gentleman would like to you know, link up and work together at any point, I'm assuming that you are in San Francisco, Claire?
Yeah, I'm in Richmond in the East Bay.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so we can actually, you know, meet in real life.
I know, how weird is that?
And that would be really amazing. And the offer is open. You know, me and John have met up recently a few times for various events. Absolutely, we'll be in contact. And so you know, I would love to put it out there for anybody in the Bay Area, or if you're passing through, if you're visiting, or if you plan to visit. You know, I'd love to move this virtual space into, you know, reality. I'd love to meet at parks. We've got lots of different events. The last time that I invited John out, we went to a silent disco that was on the Berkeley Marina. And that was when I was actually doing that piece that I showed you all live, you know, so that piece emerged as I was there with John, listening to amazing beats and music, you know, in the Berkeley Marina. So we have a really tight-knit community here, both virtually. I love that people are calling in from all around the world. It's really exciting to see what people are doing out there, and that we are going to really solidify this, you know, team with these NFTs and in this virtual space, as well as this physical space, you know, on this beautiful planet that we live in. So, you know, I feel like my share is complete. I'm looking forward to hearing again from others.
Loving
Thank
you,
you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
If you have any questions about anything I shared, you know, it's kind of a lot of information, but I would love to answer any questions too, if something has come up or if it spurred a thought or an idea, just, you know, let me know.
Well, just in the interest of time, I think that basically what you put forward, especially, I love the new logo. I think it really speaks to a lot of, you know, the same themes that we're working on as a collective of artivists, activists, artists, you know, visionaries here with RegeNFT. And yeah, it looks like, oh, let's see, what does Philip say? Nothing yet. Hi, Samantha.
I was just gonna.
The same. What's
I
up?
was just gonna tell Sam that my daughter, who's a visual artist and a mushroom cultivator, lives in Oakland, and I need to hook you guys up because I'm sure she would like to attend the sound bath.
Yes,
Well,
awesome. Thank you. And I would love to invite her into the space. It's still emerging. There's not an official name even yet, you know, so it's the community is really coming together. And you know, the first time that I was there a few weeks ago, you know, we were in the naming process. So that was part of our community conversation. What should we call this? You know, what are some of the key words that we want to leave out, you know, perhaps, or what do we really want to, you know, what do we want this space to become? So I would really, you know, Philip, please, you know, I'll even put my phone number in the chat. You could, you know, ask her to text me and social media,
Okay.
or however she wants to reach out, or any of you all. You know, I think that this community is really vital. We're doing something that's really important for the earth. With all of these different, you know, moving parts put together like this incredible tapestry. So thank you, Philip. I'm excited to meet her.
And I just wanted to
No,
interject
her
for a
name's
minute.
Taylor Moore.
Oh, cool. Sorry about that, Phil. Taylor Moore, great. So I just want to thank Sam for, she's a super connector in the artist community. She's hanging out at events all the time. I wasn't even able to make it to one last week with our dear friend Rachel Goldsmith, who's doing badass work here in Oakland. But Sam hooked us up with the team at Psychedelic Seminars, and we're really fleshing out the decarceration vertical because Mike Margulis is a really badass decentralized activist who's a grassroots guy, very aligned with our ethos. And because of Samantha, we're reconnected with that node in the network, and just want to thank you, Samantha, for just being badass, being on the streets, meeting people and spreading the good word. So thank you.
Right on. Well, we've been all cooped up for so long that it's just like, woo, hey.
People are itching for it. Yeah, I saw photos from the Pride weekend in New York. It looked like the whole city was out in the streets having a blast. So who's next? Philip, you started sharing. I'm curious about what you're up to. You want to give us a little lowdown for a minute or two?
Sure. So I'm the designated representative for my two artist children who are a little intimidated about the whole NFT process. So John graciously invited me to, join in late because we missed the deadline. My son is an EDM artist. He is Chance the Closer, if anybody's interested in listening to some of his music. He's sort of a mid-tier guy. He's got about 100,000 Instagram followers and is starting to get booked at festivals. So he was interested in submitting a piece, to I'm not sure which of the four verticals he's most inspired by, but so he's going to to produce a song and then just doesn't know what to do next with it once it's done. Doesn't know how to mint an NFT out of a EDM song. And then my daughter's got some unreleased art that she said she was willing to contribute as well. So after this call, I'm going to follow up with them and get Taylor hooked up with Samantha so she can kind of fill her in on everything that's going on.
Excellent, Philip. So number one, your son and daughter are invited to, we have a new system now on our website where artists can apply to upload their artwork. And it asks them a few questions. It gives them an understanding of kind of what we're about, as well as like which one of the four verticals are they most inspired by, because we want this process to be driven by the social impact, not just the potential bidding upside, which is also great. But the shared ethos we have is that we want to transform the world through this artwork. So if you just hit apply now on RegeNFT.net, it should walk either her or either your son or daughter through that process, and then we can capture the artwork and share it on our Discord for the community to chime in about it and give feedback about best ways to get the word out there. But an EDM song could potentially stand alone in the auction itself, or it could be connected to an artist who needs a soundtrack, kind of like Jerome was speaking about earlier today. So there's options. Sound people are in big demand here. So just lead them there, and I'll drop the website and let you continue.
Awesome work.
That's
and
my
what a good
update.
dad. Yeah, I just checked out Chance the Closer. I'll listen to his music afterwards. I'm like a house music DJ in one of my other hats. Pretty passionate about that world. So that's amazing. Yeah, and with the Oakland connection too, guys, that we're seeing with this Bay Area stuff. This is why it's really one of our focuses to get an in-person gallery so that we can have a set, from our musicians, like have a space to display Brooke's immersive VR artwork, all of the above, have a place to put that amazing painting, Samantha, and a space for you, Claire, to sing and do a workshop. So got still a full house, and thanks for sticking with us. Helios, you've been in the call for a while, man. You want to share where you're at? I know you're always making such amazing art and sharing it with the world on Instagram.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Sounds good. I'll make sure I put everyone else on mute. There's some background.
Yeah, you sound perfect, Helios.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you all for sharing. Thank you all for really trying to make this world more beautiful and bring in your knowledge and wisdom. It's really fun and interesting to see everyone working to give the best in themselves. So yeah, I've been pretty busy here. Just I'm starting my business is kind of looming at the moment. It's called King Tech Architecture. So it's basically an architecture firm that is designing and making furniture, but also really creating a world for people as they want, really to experience a new level of living, really in line with themselves and their heart and their passion, because it's more of a heart-based architecture that is integrated with nature and plants and totally in biosymbiosis, or to really connect with your roots, with to have a relationship with nature more as you live, and so this is really being an interesting process to birth, and it's really going really well. And with this technology and this ancient technology of building and it's more energetic. It's building energetics and spaces that are not really visible, but making them appear through a certain building of a space. So then you can really become yourself and really explore all the possibility that this life has to offer. And I've been writing music at the same time, and writing music, singing. So I'm also working on making this whole art pieces, NFTs that I feel I'm gonna do. I have mandalas that I do from painting and artworks that I make, and even architecture plans that are more of an art piece and than a very specific architecture planning that you would be used to. And using that to do mandalas and making my music and songs on top of it, to really give the essence of what I'm saying. It's also channeled work sometimes, but the music comes pretty, and I've been more refining that to specific pieces with some channeled work. And so have a bunch of them as NFTs, and instead of owning one piece of an art, you get the whole access of different pieces, different art pieces. As much as I am able to produce, you give access to all of them in a sense, to be interchangeable at some point for a certain amount of time, let's say. And so that will also encourage, the sharing of the art. I think so. That's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Amazing, dude. Yeah, and if anyone hasn't seen Helios's like moving mandala plus like next level American primitive kind of like roots guitar art pieces that are already such an experience, and that I think will translate so well to the blockchain, and because they have that kind of immersive quality with the sound and the visuals. and the ability for them to be looped and stuff. This was something we talked about on the live stream last week with Brooke, who's been an innovator in the VR AR space for years. It's like for a long time, these compositions they were only good for like getting booked a night to do the visuals at a party or something. Like you can't sell them, but now with NFTs you can, and people can own them. So another thing you're speaking to, Helios, is like this kind of unlockable content. That's another theme that as we dive further into like how we're finesse these NFTs to create the maximum value for the collectors and also for the artists. It's like you know, you can buy more of the layers of your art, you know, like you can like say you can have the 30-second loop and then you can have the following 30-second, you know, it's like
or even have like you know, create per se mandalas with certain type of music, and then you have, let's say 15, 10 or 20, and you just have access to one for a certain amount of time, and then you can change and like choose another one. Like it can be like a certain interchangeable, shareable, you know, like NFT. So then you get to really experience the whole. And then I could do another type of NFT that is more like a different type of music or a different album, let's say, a different type of or content, and then you can share these ones, and then that's a whole different type of like NFT line, let's say, because I have different type of project. Here we're also building a studio, so we're getting more and more like instruments and things to record properly. And what I want to do also in unlockable type of NFTs to unlock like a full-on concert, like because we're gonna I sing in ceremonies. We do music in ceremonies, and we're gonna start doing really small groups of ceremonies just here and with musician and record that session on ayahuasca and ceremonies, and with the abuelita, and being able to unlock these sacred kind of like meditation and irakus, or even like channeled work from that.
Mind-blowing, dude. I think one of the things maybe to consider this week is, you know, what charity you want to partner with. So I'll send you some resources on that front. You know, because I feel that there's a potential for a whole series of these, and you know, like you said, with these these group recording sessions, and then really, you know, how much service will we be doing to grandmother ayahuasca by turning these prayers into then reforestation in the Amazon. You know? Like, imagine, like, and that's connect the dots, like they're both happening.
For sure.
Like, for sure, the benefit, you know, on both sides. So thank you so much, brother. And
I would like to have a little bit more information also how I can like give my work, and so to have a team, and how's that work, and even maybe work with Jerome to, I don't know if, you know, for the sound, I can, you know, like give him the piece that I'm working on, and then he can also like do his little magic on it, or do some sort of, you know, collaboration, or even, I don't know, just improve.
And then also just before we, Jerome, just so you know, this is not just going to be purely philanthropic and people sucking on, you know, needing your time as a sound designer. Also, you'll be cut in on the artist deal. Of course, guys, all of you artists are going to receive the lion's share of this. Like, even though this is a charitable endeavor, charities get 25%, artists and the team of creators on each piece receive 70%. It'll be up to the teams to decide what the split is on that. And then the RegeNFT organization is just taking 5%, so just enough to like hopefully get me to California to make this thing happen, you know, and in person and curate the gallery. So thank you so much, Helios. We've got a few more folks to share.
I'll put my Instagram in the chat, and I have a couple, so you can check it out. There's different varieties that I'll be playing with, all these different types of NFT. I don't know how to actually do that chat thing.
It's in the more tab.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Helios. Okay, so we've got a few more
Gracias.
people to share. We've been moving along beautifully.
Jenny
It's,
hasn't shared yet.
After one here in Costa Rica. What's up, John?
I said Jenny hasn't shared yet.
Yeah, Jenny hasn't shared, and Aman hasn't shared. And so, yeah, Jenny, you wanna take the floor and share what you're up to?
Sure. First of all, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. First of all, I just wanted to say I'm really glad to be in a place where I can join the call almost the whole time today because I have been traveling and it has been so hectic. So I apologize that I haven't been on the creator calls with as much presence as I would like. So Sam, really nice to meet you more and kind of just hear your voice a little bit. And Claire, I just can feel your energy. I didn't catch your whole thing, but I love the idea of you know, the ownership as sponsorship. And I think, you know, John and I have kind of been chatting about that. So thank you all for sharing. And I am really, and John has really been coaching me in a lot of ways about how I can come to the community and share maybe some of the progress I've made on my vision and ask for a little bit of feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, if that's okay. Can I share my screen? So I'm in Boston right now. I've been traveling a lot, but I was just in Miami for several weeks, and Miami is really becoming very quickly the hub of cryptocurrency. I was there for the Bitcoin and shitcoin conferences, and it just was really pushed into this whirlwind around NFTs and a lot of good energy. And I found myself at this artist residency called Esquina de Abuela. And Esquina de Abuela is a very unique location. It's a part hostel, part homeless shelter, part part incubator for permaculture. It's, you know, but really the heart of it is art, and the heart of it really is graffiti art is the key element at Esquina de Abuela. So I had originally a vision to do like an insider look at Esquina de Abuela, and what I was working with John on is maybe having a place on the metaverse, the XR metaverse, to host a RegeNFT art gallery. And then I wanted to have like a piece of art that became a portal door to open up a world where you could buy more art from more artists. So that was my original vision. And I think that he brought up a good point, which is that I had originally kind of put this under the homelessness vertical, although I'm not sure it really belongs there. So I've been meditating on that a lot. And I know that in the Discord that there was a rogue option. And I'm curious. So on my team, essentially, is me and then some of the artists that exist at Esquina de Abuela. And those artists are visual artists, they're musicians, they're graffiti artists, they're chefs that do, you know, beautiful vegan cooking. And I wanted to have this, my art piece, our team art piece, be a promo video that was an insider look that showcased all of those things. And the more I think about it, I really don't actually think it fits under the homelessness vertical. So I'm curious, the other vertical I was really interested in, which didn't exist yet, but one of my artists is very interested in mental health and kind of this idea that this community center is a gathering place for people who are struggling and using art to trust the struggle, right? Art is our kind of, it's therapy. Music is therapy, art is therapy. And so I'm curious, I guess, if that would be an option. And I guess the other question would be, Esquina de Abuela is it's a nonprofit, but it's not a 501c3. So is that a charity that we can work with or not really? Maybe we can just support the artists there through their contributions as team members and then choose a different charity. I don't know exactly. but I feel pretty confident in the content that I already got while I was there. So I had my professional video set up, and I got over 500 photos. I was able to film original music that was being played and written live in person. So, created for the purpose of our project, and it was really beautiful. So I'm super stoked to be able to compile that and put it together in this like insider look portal door opener to the Esquina NFT gallery. They're gonna have a separate gallery on our metaverse, but I'm not 100% sure about how this is gonna work with the charitable arm. So maybe you guys will give some input. Is there anyone else doing anything around mental health? I definitely have, a non-exhaustive list of charities around homelessness and mental health, but the point was kind of that Esquina is a charity that needs support, but it's not a 501c3, so I don't know what the rules are around that.
Yeah, so great questions across the board. Number one, it's not a requirement to be in the 4 verticals. As you noted, we have a 5th vertical, which is Rogue, which is basically make your own vertical. So if you wanted it to be mental health, that works. If you just want to give money to La Esquina and say you're promoting arts and culture, that's under the Rogue vertical, and you can give them money straight up, and they don't have to be a 501c3. We're a philanthropic model, but we can also start an impact-based startup and give money to that. So we're not at all like, we're here to give you the most limited amount of constraints possible, but just some constraints to create innovation, and that's inspired by your soul's purpose. And if getting money to Esquina,
and I guess take it to the people and kind of see how we want to frame the piece. If we want to frame it as like a community mental health or just an arts and culture center, and see what they think about that. And then before before I share, give the mic to someone else, the other thing that I was really wanting to do that I put aside, because I'm always getting inspired by, incubator projects that are not mine, but I originally wanted to join RegeNFT because I wanted to produce a rap song to Regen Network's Grasslands protocol, which is what the idea that John and I had come up with. So if I'm able to do 2 of those things, that would be ideal. Like if I'm able to still do that.
So, I riffing just on the Grasslands thing. I think some way to like inspire, like it doesn't have to be the Grasslands protocol.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, right? Like,
but if you want to like buck wild and be running around in fields with cows, trying to get more cow people signed up, more grazers signed up for Regen Network's Grasslands protocol, that could be fun. You know what I mean? Like and then giving the money to Regen Foundation, that's perfect. Fits in the spot perfectly.
Yeah, I guess I'm just asking if I can do both.
I
don't want to give up Esquina.
Yeah, if you can execute, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, different pieces for different charities, no problem at all.
And Jenny, if you want to send just the vocals of your rap, my son does a lot of collabs with rappers that just give him their vocals and he does the rest. So if you want to do that.
Like he makes beats?
Yeah, he's an EDM
he's a pretty
producer.
well-known EDM artist. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I usually do it the
really
other way around. I usually have the beat first and then write, but I have done it. I have written first. I've written spoken words and then put them to EDM beats before. So. Or
if you want the beat, I mean, we can hook up and he can create a beat for you and then you can go to town.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be ideal.
Oh, this is what the point of these calls are, guys. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Jenny. Are you still in Miami?
I'm not right now. I'm in Boston, and then I'm going to be.
Yeah, I was looking at the fir tree behind you. I'm like, that's not Miami.
This is just a background. This is just a virtual background.
Nice.
But what I will say is just that there's a ton of energy in Miami around the NFTs. And so I'm really hoping to be able, additionally, in addition to my team contribution of our single art piece, I'm really hoping to be able to loop in some sponsors and buyers, because there's a massive energy in Miami around NFTs right now.
That's awesome. And dude, if there's anything we can do on the graphics end, on, you know, any one sheets, anything that you need from us, you know, that's like specific to that market, contact me directly, and let's you know, put something together this weekend.
Yeah, because, well, sorry. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen for one more second, and I will be quick about it. But I forgot to say that this is what's going on. In addition to Esquina being an art residency, we're lining them up as a crypto incubator academy. So if, you know, I don't know exactly how the how RegeNFT might work with them, but I know that John had said, you know, you have this kind of partner for decarceration. Maybe there's a way, there might be some win-wins here. Like we're creating, Claire was talking about community, like art really supporting in-person intentional communities. That's exactly what is happening in Miami. I mean, this is an on-the-ground community where we're hosting events to teach people how to sign up for their wallets. So if we're teaching people how to sign up for their wallets, it would only be one extra step to like link them into, like, maybe there's a registration to sign up for the RegeNFT newsletter. I mean, something simple, I don't know, but I do think that there's an opportunity to loop in the RegeNFT project with that crypto incubator.
Amazing. So we'll have a breakout on that, and just, yeah, more incredible content. Thank you so much, Jenny. And yeah, looking forward to hearing the music, seeing the art, and I love the potential partnerships there. I think we're getting through it in terms of who is left to share. Aman, you've been on this call the whole time. You're free to take the floor if you're ready.
Okay, hi. So I'm in a place which has really bad internet, so I don't think I'll be able to switch my video on. Basically, I have a couple of artworks which are basically photographs. So I'm basically a hobbyist wildlife photographer, and I also have a person in my team who does a lot of star trails, kind of like celestial photography. So I'm just hoping to understand more about how these kind of artworks could be like brought into the program, probably.
You can find out a lot about that on the RegeNFT website. There's also a deck I'll send you if you can message your email in the chat, or respond to an email in your email client. But basically, yeah, all that's the thing about the non-fungible tokens. It's all media formats are welcome, you know, provided by and large that they're unpublished, you know, without the free-for-all that happens with already published artworks on the internet. And yeah, nature and wildlife photography, I think, fit really well into our environmental restoration vertical, and, you know, can be sold NFTs with 25% of the proceeds going to, you know, and it's just, we get it in the highest res possible. We can keep it simple with it there only being the photographs, or we can make it into like a little display with an artist statement, you know, and a story. Say, I don't know where you're taking these photographs, but often, you know, wildlife photography is happening in areas where there is a threat to wildlife. Frankly, it's, you know, it's most of the world at this point. And so, yeah, you can decide how many layers to incorporate into the photograph, and, you know, on top of the photograph in the token. And then, yeah, we display them on the rotating display at the gallery in person. We share them online as part of the auction. And then you and your team of artists receive 70% of the proceeds. Your charity of choice receives 25, and then the RegeNFT, you know, endeavor, you know, covers costs with the remaining 5. Yeah.
So and also, I think some of my photographs, which are like celestial and like star trails kind of photographs, could benefit from Jerome's music, because I think it clicks. So maybe I'd be looking for a collaboration there as well. So I'll connect with him for that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Where are you based?
I'm in Dehradun in India.
Dehradun. I've been there.
Okay.
I lived at the Kriya Yoga Ashram in Rishikesh in 2012 for several months and took several trips to Dehradun.
Awesome.
Yeah, it must
Great.
be beautiful in June. Yeah. Wow. Well, thanks for tuning in. I can only imagine. I don't have any idea what time it is, but it's not a convenient time in Dehradun right now.
Yeah. It's way past bedtime. Yeah.
Way past bedtime. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for being on the call, Aman. And honestly, I've been in talks with a friend, one of the leaders of Regen Network, who's also based in India. And I think that there's just a lot of potential both in this incubator cycle, but then in cycles to come, to really work with a lot of Indian artists, and on maybe causes, and charities that are focused on wildlife in India, decarceration, etc., on that side of the world in South Asia. So thank you so much for being here. It's so cool that we have just on this call like a pretty global community of Central America, North America, Europe, and Asia.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, last up of people to share, we have Eckert, and then we'll close it out. We're just about at an hour 20 now. And yeah, then we'll close it out in 10 minutes. So Eckert, give us a couple minutes on what you've been up to.
Yeah, I really don't have much of an update. What's kind of cool for me is I found some artwork I've done in the past, and probably in the past year or two, that I think I could probably use towards a vision. And I just, give me a second. Pretty out there stuff. Pretty strange. I don't know if you can see any of this. This is something I did probably in the past year and a half or so, but it's kind of like a sketch that informs other things that I've been working on. And I'm still kind of my original kind of hat I was going to wear as more as kind of a pollinator. And our team went up to Fly Ranch, and so there was an interruption. I had to reconnect with our team lead and see. He was very favorable towards the NFT concept. He's a designer, architect. But yeah, that's really my update. I don't have much, except I have lots of loose threads in different places. And the Hudson Valley idea is the thing that I think I'm very concrete, but parallel, but not completely separate, is the Hudson Valley initiative for later this year. But yeah, I don't really have anything burning in particular to share. I wish, but I'm fascinated with what everyone else has said, and if it's possible to integrate some sound later, some music. I'm curious though, does anyone know, I mean, it's still kind of pioneering territory, but can you take an NFT and then later introduce music, or does that have to be reminted completely as like a save as, or a copy with a unique identity that has the music in it later? Maybe it's not.
It would have to be done later.
I don't need to know.
Like when it enters the blockchain, it's
Okay.
pretty much an object, but you could have it as unlockable content, that is available, but it's like a kind of null unlockable content until that composition is complete, say. So that's just that would be a workaround there. I've been playing all spring with minting NFTs just on OpenSea and seeing what we can do, and obviously sold them for fractions, whatever, $5 a piece or something. But just learning about the process and what's possible. And so one of the things I'll be doing this week is meeting with a blockchain lawyer and seeing how directly we can incorporate the charitable aspect into the smart contract. Because in my vision, there's like this.
Can you record that conversation for our community?
Absolutely, yeah. It'll be with Tim Bucher, an early blockchain lawyer in New York, who took, on advising of his partner at the time, his ex-wife, who's a good friend of mine, was willing to receive cryptocurrency in exchange for his legal services in 2011, 2012, and 2013. And this guy was like fresh out of Hofstra or something, like not a big law school, you know, and made what's now close to $1 billion because of that willingness. It's like David Cho, who took Facebook stock for painting the walls, you know. And so yeah, we'll be telling stories similar in years to come about being at the forefront of the regenerative NFT marketplace, and where we, you know, get the credit for being early adopters. So yeah, this has been such an awesome call. I really love and appreciate these community calls. Different people have come on each week. You know, it's not just the same familiar faces, but for those who have been on every week, thank you so much for being a part of it. This is the last day of June, and we had our first call, you know, just 30 days ago. It feels like a lifetime has passed. So yeah, so stoked to just keep creating with everyone. I think there are some really interesting threads that emerged in this talk. And you know, we're John Gentry and I are just going to keep grinding on partnerships, on promotions. Invite everyone to follow RegeNFT on Instagram and Facebook, and also to tune in tomorrow when we chat with Claire. And then if you feel like your project is at a point where you want to share about it and talk at some length, 20, 30, 40 minutes live about your work, just message me, and we can set up an Instagram live call that will be recorded in perpetuity, and, you know, do a little cross promotion, artist to organization.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
A quick question.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a connection to Burning Man Foundation? Because that's in essence what we have, a special project that's part of Burning Man Foundation. I'm thinking of their caliber. I've never been to a Burning Man, but they're so huge. There's so much about creativity and now sustainability as well. They're doing the walk and the talk. Then why wouldn't they want to be involved in this? I'm sure they have their hands full, I'm sure. But that's one of the challenges with this is, I'll talk to John again, but my partner in this, who really kind of is the mastermind between executing this, because we can make this work for us as part of an entity in a smaller part, a new part of what Burning Man is doing now, then maybe they'll want to go all in.
That's amazing. And happy to chat with him too, Eckert, if the time's right with John, with your partner there. So yeah, any other housekeeping stuff? We are at 1:25, so we got, you know, 4 minutes left on the call, and I leave the floor open. Thanks so much for being here, guys.
So I want to, you know, it's a little crazy, but I want to put a ritual as an NFT, a death and rebirth ritual, something that is established offline, but sell access to it through a non-fungible token. Thinking composting the human in a real live experience, and coming out with a new sense of what's possible for the world at large.
Awesome. Well, guys,
it's making me think of
maybe we can close this out with I don't know, Claire. Can you take us home and give us a little either sound or...
Before she does that, I do have one quick other housekeeping thing.
Please.
Is there a deadline for submission for these pieces? What's the deadline? And like, is there a submission portal? Where do we submit? How do we know that everyone's artwork is here, collected? I like to work backward.
Submission's deadline is currently loose at June 15th at July 15th because of partnership conversations. We might push it back a week. The process is coming down the pipeline. We will share it with you as it's organically emerging.
Okay, so we're looking around July 15th.
July 15th is still a encouraged deadline to keep the ball moving. More than likely, it'll be pushed back 1 week. Just to be
thank you.
real.
Yep. And in the meantime, as the portal, you know, the easy web portal and what have you get set up, we've also had artists begin to submit pieces. You know, you do a WeTransfer or whatever mega upload, or Google Drive link, whatever's clever. And then, yeah, submit basically the highest res version and just email it over to us as a link on WeTransfer. And we'll, yeah, as we move into July and we come up towards the submission deadlines, we'll get a full-on system, you know, to store those files and what have you on the cloud. But basically, yeah, starting on July 1st, we're going to have pieces coming in and working with artists to get the minting process going. So yeah, that's the last housekeeping, unless anyone else has another question.
I was thinking when John put that idea out there, back in the 70s, they had this thing that went up in a spacecraft and had a representation of a human male, human female, and then other forms for visitors. If we had something like this that went out to like the, you know, what is it, Elon Musk's SpaceX, et cetera, where they're going, maybe we'd have a blockchain representation that gets sent out on one of their crafts too. I don't know if they're thinking about that, but if they're going to go to Mars, you know, not too much farther, maybe we can incorporate.
I love it, brother, but it's actually the inverse of that. The inverse of that mind virus of let's go to space to fix our problems. I'm saying let's bury ourselves in the earth and listen to her.
Right. It is interesting. That's a good point.
Way different.
Yeah.
There's this guy who does the Humanitry, where they bury people up to their waist. And he's a
Claire's
friend.
done that. Claire's done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then you get to sit there and experience what it's like to be, you know, rooted in the ground, literally.
But they get to get back out, right? I hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they pay enough.
Making me think of Cadillac Ranch. There's something called Cadillac Ranch. It's like airy Cadillacs in a row. The guy who made that spoke at an event I attended a few years ago. Amazing.
Feeling.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Also, Soul Fest. The event Soul Fest happened, an event where they took old cars and they planted trees in them, and they still sitting there kind of rotting with the trees going through them.
That's pretty cool, man. Wow. Well, there's a lot of many lots to be explored. And yeah, just thank you everyone so much for being with us. More updates to come. You know, this is the final day of June, so yeah, showtime starts tomorrow, guys.
All right, so I'll give you a couple of minutes of sound. It might be a good idea to mute so that it doesn't travel unexpectedly. And if you can give me a thumbs up if the level sounds good. There you go. A little bit of sound love.